Sam Mendes' 1917 is a film built around the idea of putting the audience into the shoes of an English soldier in the First World War. The most overt example of this is the film Cinematography, which was done to appear as a single shot, with the exception of one very intentional cut. While the cinematography is stunning, winning the film an Oscar, it isn't 1917's only way of achieving its goal, and is far from the most impressive. The mise-en-scène that 1917 creates, and the amount of detail and effort that was put into its design and composition, is an achievement that I feel is overshadowed by the hype surrounding its cinematography, and that's incredibly disappointing. The design in 1917 attempted to portray the titular year as accurately as possible, but at the same time in a way that feels personal and grounded. This was achieved on multiple levels through hard work and lots of research. The costume designers in particular, Jacqueline Durran and David Crossman, sought to make each soldier in the film distinct, and with their own story. They spent hours upon hours researching footage from the era, mostly taken from the documentary They Shall Not Grow Old, in order to see how people from the era customized their uniforms and showed personality in an otherwise impersonal setting. The same amount of effort was put into the scenic design, with multiple trips being taken to war sites in France by production designer Dennis Gassner, in order to make the trenches as perfect a representation as possible. This effort wasn't limited to the trenches, though. For the sequence that takes place in a ruined village, Gassner and his team designed 150 unique buildings, then destroyed them in a simulation before they were constructed, to make the ruins look as chaotic as possible. The sound in the film, or at least the diegetic sound, was also designed with chaos in mind. This is notable with sounds like the German gunfire, or biplanes, which were recorded on location from multiple different spots around the actors, so when they were played back, it would be difficult to determine where the sound is coming from, simulating what it would sound like to the characters. The other aspect of mise-en-scène, composition, isn't actually overshadowed by the cinematography. It is directly enhanced by it. Because the film is done in one shot, the audience becomes painfully aware of off-screen space and framing. The camera is put in the trenches with the soldiers, and it becomes difficult to lose track of where one is. As a result, the film feels not only personal, but grounded. The camera moves through the trenches with the soldiers, makes the same journey as the characters, and sees the world with the same framing and kinesis that a person would at the time. Like any aspect of any film, 1917's design isn't perfect, and the world it presents with its mise-en-scène isn't exactly the world that British soldiers would have experienced during the Great War. But the amount of effort that was put into researching and producing an experience as accurate as 1917 was is incredible, and 1917 has become, at least for me, a prime example of how real a film can feel, and how small details can make or break a film.